Hello YouTubers, my name is Bryce and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Jack of Trades. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a minute, or about 40,000 minutes since my last video. I haven't posted a video in a little over a month now, and it's been busy too. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing a lot with RC cars. This is a channel update video. In this video, I'll be going over what I've been working on for the last month. I have a rant against a retailer that I've been having problems with. I'll show some new kits I've picked up over the last month. I haven't really done anything with RC, but I have had orders kind of coming in, some back orders and some things that I've been hunting for that I've managed to get my hands on. And then I'll go over some updates that I've worked on with the studio being my garage. But I'm always trying to make improvements to my setup, better lighting, better sound, better backgrounds, whatever. So I'll go over some changes that I've made, and hopefully that'll help improve the quality of the content in the near future. So first, let's go over what I've been doing for the last month. Oh, and before I forget, Happy New Year's! We're already almost finished with the second week of January. We're halfway through the month already, which is crazy. So I had 3 weeks off from work for the holidays, and I was thinking, oh, I'd get a lot done. I'd play in the garage, get some kits built, but unfortunately I didn't get to do any of that. In my backyard I have what I call a playhouse. It's basically a glorified shed, but it's built like a house. It's a 10 by 14 structure with a pitched roof, and it has a crawl space, and it has a concrete footing foundation that I poured. I built this back in 2016. I kind of did it backwards. The project grew in scope, and it went from kind of just a basic shed to a playhouse, and then I poured the foundation after the fact, so I had to move the playhouse off-site, pour the foundation, and move it back onto the foundation. It's a playhouse where the kids can get out of the house and go somewhere and watch TV or play video games or build Legos or whatever, just to get them out of the house, because we do have a fairly small house. Over Thanksgiving break, I was in there cleaning up, and I noticed that the floors felt squishy. So the floor is constructed of floor joists, and then subflooring, and then hardwood floors, or engineered material hardwood flooring. So fake hardwood flooring. And it was squishy, and I started investigating, and it turned out the floors had completely rotted in the place. Well, not completely. About half of the flooring had rotted out. And it was kind of a combination of dry and wet rot, I guess. Fortunately, and I'll go and show a video of kind of the demo work, showing the floor ripped up and some of the floor joists you can see, and then I'll show a video kind of the flooring completed, because at this point I have fixed the problem. I was able to cut out all the rot and scab together the floor joists and basically rebuild the flooring underneath the existing structure. Fortunately, the rot didn't make it into the walls or the sill plates, and so I was able to kind of reconstruct some of the damaged floor joists, as well as replace the subfloor. So that project is almost done. I'm still working on that. When I first built the playhouse, I threw up sheetrock, but I never bothered to mud and tape it. And so right now I'm in the process of mudding taping, and when I'm done with that, I'll texture and paint the interior of the playhouse, and that will kind of wrap up that project. Alright, so this is our little playhouse in the backyard, and we discovered some floor rot around Thanksgiving, so this is what I've been dealing with on my holiday vacation. So it was a combination of, I don't know, black mold and fungus, or dry rot. Not really any sources of water. Things are wet now because I've been spraying with trying to kill the fungus, but it was getting into the joists as well as the subfloor. The subfloor, I was able to basically put my foot through it. The only thing holding the floor together was we had some engineered hardwood flooring that was down, and that was the only thing holding the floor up. So I was able to put my foot through it. This is what we have for subfloor. This 7/8 OSB So now I'm cutting out the rot and going to be putting in, stitching in some new joists to reinforce this corner. But it's a project. It's a pain in the butt. And I have to get this done before I can play with any more RCs. Hopefully I'll get it done the next week or so. Alright, so it's been a couple weeks. We got the flooring repaired. So we fixed all the framing, the floor joists, and then we put down new sheathing, and we managed to squeeze it underneath the walls. So the sheathing, I couldn't find the original sheathing thickness. I guess they don't make it anymore, which is 7/8 supposed to be. So I had to use 7/16 in 2 layers and basically glued and screwed the 2 layers together. So the weird pattern of sheathing is because I wanted to overlap the seams between layers. So in order to do, and it's very challenging to shove these boards underneath the walls properly because it is slightly thicker. So that's why it's kind of this weird pattern, but it's glued and screwed to the floor joists, so we're stronger than the original floors. We've taken care of all the rot, and now we are working on finishing up the sheetrock. So we're taping and mudding and sanding. We start on this side for obvious reasons, and then we'll shift everything from over here over to the opposite side and finish that. I'm not a sheetrock guy, but I'm good enough to be dangerous. I tend to sand away more mud than I leave behind. So I've spent the last couple of weeks working on that. It's something that I had to address because it was kind of an emergency, and I didn't feel it was right to be playing in the garage making videos when I had this major house project that I had to get done. And so that's what I was working on. And with it kind of wrapping up and the sheetrock, I go out there and I do a little bit of sheetrock work and then let it dry for a day, and that gives me time to kind of get back in the garage and do a little bit here and there. But also a lot of the stuff that was in the Playhouse is in my garage taking up space, so I don't have a lot of room to work in here either. It's going to be probably a couple more weeks before I finish up that sheetrock, get it painted, get new flooring put in, and then I can get stuff out of my garage back into the Playhouse. So that's that. Kind of long-winded story, but that's what I've been working on. In addition to the holidays and hosting families for Christmas and New Year's and preparing for the holidays, that takes up quite a bit of time. And just spending time with family and kind of unwinding and relaxing for the end of the year. I find myself less motivated to get out into the garage and tinker around. But I'm getting that that bug again. And there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of opportunities to explore in the garage. I picked up some new toys being tools that I'd like to play around with, but again, I've kind of intentionally not dug into those because I really wanted to focus on getting that Playhouse fixed up. So let's get into the next topic, which is my rant. Adam just released an incredibly awesome video. He was ranting against Tower Hobbies. I think I've made my opinion clear on Tower Hobbies. I have stopped shopping with them. I will no longer shop with them. I have nothing good to say about them in its current form. I've been a customer of Tower Hobbies for decades. They were probably one of the first hobby shops I ever ordered from back when I was a kid in Alaska. But no more will I be shopping with them. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with Tower Hobbies, and they've lost that customer. So similar to Adam, I did get my Tower Hobbies Super Saver Club coin. Woohoo! I wish they could have put more effort into their customer service than they did into this marketing pamphlet that they sent out. So that was worthless. What else? I actually had some purchases that I had to go back through my credit card company because I was getting charged by Tower Hobbies for stuff that I wasn't invoiced for or stuff that had shipped. I honestly had no idea what it was because it was just like random charges on my card from Tower Hobbies, or Horizon Hobbies, not Tower Hobbies. If you see charges on your card from Horizon Hobbies, you should investigate, because I have been getting random charges to the point where I actually asked my card to block Horizon Hobby as a vendor on my credit card. And I had to go through the credit card company to dispute those charges. I wasn't going to waste my time with Tower Hobbies customer service. I've tried talking to them in the past, and it takes weeks for them to respond, and I just don't want to waste my time in a chat with someone that can't really help me. But this rant is not about Tower Hobbies. This rant is about Banggood. So I don't do a lot of shopping with Banggood or AliExpress. I have definitely not a lot with AliExpress. I trust them less than I do Banggood, but I do have an account with Banggood. I've ordered a couple things. I've ordered a couple radios from them. I've ordered some upgrade parts for a WL Toys RC car that I have. And my most recent purchase was the Sky RC digital tire balancer, which is a new piece of hardware that came out this fall. But I just want to start by showing you, this is how Banggood typically ships stuff. They have the original product in its original packaging, and they throw it in a bag and they tightly wrap it up, and that's how it ships. There's no extra packaging, no extra protection, and as a result, things show up damaged. So I had a radio that I ordered. Fortunately, it came in a radio box, like a hard radio box. And when it was shipped, it was just the box with no extra packaging, and it was damaged in shipping. No surprise there. And I contacted Banggood about, trying to get this resolved. And the best that I could, the radio was fine, so it was okay. But they basically gave me points credit on my account, which, if you get 30,000 points on your account, it's hard to use all those on a single purchase. It basically gets spread out over multiple purchases, which is really annoying. And I've never been able to figure out how to use it all in one lump sum. And maybe that's just me being ignorant. So anyways, I got this digital tire balancer, and that's how it was shipped. And I went to open it up, and it did not sound good, because when I opened it up, this thing was rattling around like that. And the way this thing is shipped is they have these shipping screws on the bottom, which is really odd to me, because not only do they have kind of the shipping mandrel here that is mounted to the shaft, but they have these shipping screws. So basically you're supposed to put this mandrel on, tighten these screws, and then for shipping you back these screws off like half a turn. Well, these screws were backed off so much that they were almost falling out, and this thing was just rattling around, and that's how it was shipped. I wasn't surprised when I went to turn this on and do a calibration that it would not calibrate. This thing is broken. It's useless. It's broken. And I went back and forth with Banggood, told them the problem. They wanted to see video evidence of it not working, so I took the time to make a video and I posted that to YouTube so they could see it, sent them the link. And then they wanted to go through the manufacturer and see what the manufacturer wanted to do. All I wanted was to get a replacement at that point. But now I've been so fed up with Banggood and how they've responded to this that I just want a refund. So they told me to take this to a local shop and have them repair it, and they would cover the repair costs. As everyone and their mom knows, shops don't repair things. Retailers do not repair products. If something comes in and it's damaged, it gets sent to the manufacturer for repair or replace or credit or whatever. But no one repairs stuff. So Banggood asking me to go to a hobby shop to ask them to repair this is absolutely pointless and pretty idiotic if you think about it. And at that point, I stopped responding. And of course, with Banggood, if you don't respond within a couple days, they close out your ticket. So then I went through my credit card company to dispute the charge. And all I wanted at this point is a shipping label to send this back to Banggood and a full credit to my account. So now I'm dealing with the credit card company. And they're communicating with Banggood. And Banggood is still giving us the same story. Except now they're like, well, if you keep the item, we'll give you $15 credit to your account. It's like, I have no use for this. It's broken. It doesn't work. I want a full refund and I want to return it. And so they're just, they're giving you the typical runaround that Banggood does. when it comes to trying to return something. And the sad part is, I bought this from Banggood because sometimes Banggood is like the first retailer that has new tech available. I've seen this with radios, I saw this with this, but now I've seen these domestically available, and they're only like 15 bucks more than going through Banggood. So I would much rather spend 15 bucks for a domestic hobby shop on this guy than going through Banggood, because I know I'll have better customer service. I'll be supporting a domestic hobby shop, and I don't have to deal with Banggood customer service. So that's my rant on Banggood. I don't recommend them. I won't be shopping with them anymore. It's like playing roulette, in the sense that if you get a product and it's not damaged, usually it's fine. But if that product is damaged, good luck getting Banggood to deal with it. So that's that. Moving on to some RC10, RC5 updates. So this project is essentially done. There's a couple little things here and there that I wanted to do. I'm still thinking about what to do with the wing, if I'm going to put the stickers on or if I'm going to try to paint it. But the other thing that I wanted to change were the tie rods. I don't really like the white ball cups and the threaded rods, and so I managed to find some black Team Associated ball cups. These are discontinued. The part number is 6274, but I was able to find some on eBay. They go for about 20 bucks for a set versus the original $5. But it's an extra set of Associated ball cups. I think it's a better plastic. I think this is nylon, whereas this is almost like a UHMW or some kind of a, seems a little brittle. But I haven't had any problems with it. It's not what I would have used for plastic. I would rather have nylon. Anywho, I digress. So I picked up the ball cups. I picked up some titanium tie rods from Clinic. Unfortunately, Lunsford is no longer with us. Otherwise, I would have gone through them. So, but Clinic RC makes titanium tie rods for the RC10 and the RC10T. So I think they're the only ones making tie rods at the moment for the RC10s. So I will be making a set of titanium tie rods for the car and installing those, and also dealing with the wing, and I think I can finally close out this project. On the RC5, I haven't done much. I did print out some new rear tires just to have them on hand. I haven't glued them up, or I haven't bonded them yet. But also, over the Thanksgiving break, I ordered some decals from MCI. They had a holiday sale. I think it was like 20% off or something. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought some Fiscal decals for this car for whenever I decide to make a body. But there we have a Fiscal size sticker sheet for the RC10. These are not cheap. If you go to MCI's website, they have these pulled-on minis. You can configure the scale and the colors and stuff. So the scale, they actually have a 1/5 scale, and basically it's just 2 times the original size, and it's pricey. But I took advantage of the sale, and I picked up a couple of different sheets. This being the primary one. This is these are just generic sheets. So on this one, I got Marlboro. This has kind of all the different manufacturer stickers: Goodyear, Dunlop, Bosch, Champion. So I ordered these stickers before I did this body, and having gone through the experience of painting this body with the being all paint, no stickers, I think I'll probably try to do as much paint on the larger body as possible. I think being a larger body will be much easier. A lot of this stuff is very tiny. You're trying to weed out your stencils with X-Acto knives and making sure that they stick properly to give you good masking. But with the bigger stuff, it should be easier. So I might try to do kind of a painted body with as few stickers as possible. I think the challenge is identifying the fonts so that you can put that into your software for generating the stencils. Even that, I kind of figured out a trick for doing that, where you can take a picture of the font. It's like with the Reedy Modifieds here. I took a picture of that font, and I found a website that will tell you the font based on a photo that you post, and so that was really helpful. And then you can go to another website to get the font, and that was really helpful in identifying some of the fonts used on the RC10. and it's a good tool to have in your pocket when you're doing custom stencils or custom stickers. And then the associated logo, I actually drew that up in CAD myself. It's a fairly simple geometric shape, so I was able to pretty accurately detail that myself, and then I can scale it up and down depending on what size I want it. So that's that. Now let's get into some new kits that I picked up. I had all these hopes and aspirations of building kits over the break, and it just didn't happen because we got pulled into that emergency Playhouse job. So I picked up a Super Saber because this just popped up. I actually have an original one of these in box, but I wanted to get the new Riri so that I could build it guilt-free without opening up a new in-box vintage kit. And then I also picked up a Boomerang because it's also a cool kit. And I'm an idiot. I did not realize these are essentially the same chassis. I did not pay attention to that, and I wasn't aware of it. And so essentially these two cars are identical. There's some changes, different colors in the shocks, different body styling, but pretty much they're the same car. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I like to build chassis that are new or unique to me. So I'm more interested in building kits that I've never built or chassis that I've never built before, just to kind of have that experience with that chassis. So had I known these are the same, I probably would have not have picked up the Boomerang, but that's okay. It actually kind of leads into my plan with these two kits, which is I was talking to my wife, and she's never really been into the RC hobby. She's supported me in the past. Well, she supports me in general because she lets me get away with what I get away with. But in the past, when I was into fifth scale racing, she'd go to the races with me. We'd drive down to Southern California and go to the races, or Northern California. So she supported me in that sense. She's gone to the trade shows with me when I was making parts for RC cars. And so, yeah, but she's never really gotten into the building and driving of the cars. And so I finally was able to talk her into building a kit with me where she'll build one kit and I'll build the other kit together, and I'll kind of turn her loose and let her do as much as she wants with it until she gets frustrated or needs help or whatever. And then obviously let her, not let her, but have her run it around. So I think it'd be a good experience for me and my wife. Something we've never done before, something that, who knows, maybe it'll pique her interest, but this might be something that she could get into, I hope, or not. It's not the end of the world that she doesn't. It's just something new for her to try that may or may not pique her interest. So that's the plan for these guys. And then I managed to pick up a couple of vintage kits. This popped up on eBay, and these never pop up on eBay. I've been looking around, and these just don't come up. So there's a semi-complete kit that kind of popped up. It was partially built with it, where they had worked through the first bag of the kit, but all the other bags were untouched, unopened, and then it was also missing the body. So I had an original body that I had picked up in a lot previously, and so I was actually able to complete this kit, with the exception of the fact that the first bag has already been assembled. But as far as kind of a new in-box kit, I'm going to have to settle on this partially built new in-box kit for my collection. So as far as my vintage low-C collection, I have a couple of JRX 2s, I have a couple of Junior Ts. Now I've got the Junior 2, I've got a JRX Pro SE, and I guess what I'm really missing for that collection is a JRX T new in box and a JRX Pro new in box. It'd be nice to have those two, but those go for really dumb money. There was a JRX T kit that popped up on eBay last fall. It was kind of started off as a 99-cent auction, and it eventually worked its way up to $2,100 that it sold for, or $2,125 or something like that. That's a little too rich for my pocket, so that one I let go because it got too rich for me. But that's what these kits are going for, unfortunately. It's sad. It makes me sick when I think of how much these are going. Like in the early 2000s, Losi was closing these out. The hobby shops were closing these out, and they were going for like $50, $60. Even when these are being sold at retail, I think they're like $120. It's just crazy, like what they used to go for and what they go for now. Because now, like a complete new in box, like I said, I haven't seen Junior 2s pop up, but I've seen Junior T's, and the complete new in box ones go for like $800 when it was originally a $120 kit, and as of the late or early 2000s, they were going for 50-60 bucks. So over 20 years, they've gone up almost 150% in price. So yeah, I picked that up. That'll go in the collection. And then I had picked out this Outlaw Raider. I'm a fan of the Outlaw Raider trucks. Well, the Outlaw trucks. So you've got the Outlaw Raider kit. They had an Outlaw Raider RTR, and they have the Outlaw Ultima kit. And my brother's first RC car was an Outlaw Raider, and I actually built it for him at the time. I love building things, so I would like build my brother's G.I. Joe toys, and I built his RC kit for him. For some reason, he wouldn't let me build his Lego kits for him, but that's another story. So this was sold as basically a box of parts. It was incomplete. It was missing the body, it was missing the wheels, tires, and who knew what else. And when I received it, I kind of started going through the different bags. It had quite a few complete parts bags, and I thought I would use it as parts for a restoration project. But after going through it, I found that it was 90% complete. So I picked up a body from Team Blue Groove, and I threw it in the box. I had some wheels and tires that are in very good shape, but not new, but very good shape. I threw those in the box. And then the only thing else, and actually it came with the original manual and decals as well. If you look online, you can't actually find digital copies of the manual of this particular car anymore, or at all. I've been unable to find a digital copy of the manual for the Outlaw Raider kit. They have it for the RTR, but not for the kit. So I've got a couple of those manuals now, and I've also scanned them, so I have my own digital copy. If you need a digital copy of that manual, hit me up. I can shoot you a PDF of the manual. But you know, it's just basically the wheels and the body. I was able to make this a complete kit, and so this is basically going into a collection of new in-box kits. For me, obviously, it has the used wheels and TBG body, so it's not something I would be trying to sell, but basically just to have in the collection to build on a rainy day. So that is that. Basically taking a box of parts and turning it into a kit to build it at a future time, which is always fun. And now we got some new release kits, or re-release kits, that I don't think are available in the States yet. That's not to say that they're not coming soon, but I just haven't seen these at the local hobby shops yet. And that is the Kyosho Optima Mid 87 World Champion Spec to celebrate their 60-year anniversary. So this took forever to get. I don't remember when I ordered it, but it shipped in like early December 1st or something like that. And it showed up like in January, so it took forever to get through customs. Which is not typical of Tamiko. Usually their stuff shows up in a week or two. So that I was kind of bummed that this didn't show up before Christmas, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not like I was waiting to build it, and I obviously didn't have time to build it. But I love this car. I know a lot of people don't like the peppermint green, but I think it looks pretty rad. And I actually want to build this car. I think this would be a fun car to build. I still haven't built that JJ Ultima. I am still waiting on one part for that, and I think I'll have the complete upgrade package for it. And that's the motor mount. I had to order that from Japan because all the local shops seem to be sold out on it. But I got that kit that I want to build. I do want to build this. And then that leads me into kind of the last re-re that everyone has been waiting for, and that is the Yokomo Super Dogfighter, or 870C. So I ordered this from RC Mart, and actually I also ordered it from Tamiko, and Tamiko had a better price with shipping. But this showed up, and this is another kit that I want to build. So what's kind of interesting about this kit, from what I've read, is that it was completely re-engineered in the sense that none of the almost none of the parts on this are backwards compatible with the original 870s. So a lot of the hole patterns don't match. which is kind of a weird thing to do. I get that you might have lost all the information from the original kit, but there's no reason you couldn't pick up a very good condition 870 and reverse engineer it, as a lot of people have done. Like Fan RC has almost a complete car that you can buy for this vehicle. And I imagine that he did, and he makes parts that are essentially backwards compatible. And I imagine he did kind of the same thing that most people do when they reverse engineer, and that they just measure the parts. And so I don't know why Yokomo didn't do that. And that is that for new kits. This is like what? This is 6 new kits in our collection. It's been a busy month of shipping, right? So that gets us into our studio. So I've been wanting to have or create a better environment for taking pictures and possibly video as well, but mainly pictures. I wanted to improve my backdrops because my garage is very busy and it doesn't really, I don't know, to me it doesn't really provide a good setting for photography, or, you know, like a studio setting. And so what I wanted to do was get, improve my lights. I actually have I think I have pretty good lighting in my garage. I have these LED can lights, and I think I have like 72 cans in my ceiling. My eyes aren't very good, and so if I always like more light than less light, and for the work that I do in here and kind of the detail that I do, I need to have as good a lighting as possible. So when I installed the lighting, I went crazy and I installed 72 cans in a 20 foot by 20 foot space. And actually, a lot of my overhead shots, you can kind of see the lights reflected off whatever I'm trying to shoot. And I want to try to help improve that as well with a little more diffusers around the subject being shot. But I also wanted to improve my background, so I installed, and I'll show a video. I'll switch over to my other camera and I'll show a video of some of the stuff I've installed into my garage to make it what I think is a better studio environment for videography and photography. But I installed these backdrops, and they weren't very expensive from Amazon. I think these are like 7 feet by 9 feet, 7 feet wide by 9 feet long, and they're on these retractable reels, so they kind of go up. And I think that helps protect them from all, because this is a working shop. I do woodworking in here, I do metalworking, and so I generate dust, and I think that helps protect those screens from dust. So I put in kind of a rail system on my ceiling, and that allows me to hang these different backdrops. I have room for 7. I currently have 3 right now. Alright, so there's my little overhead setup for my pull down backdrops. But I have a white backdrop, I picked up a gray backdrop, and I picked up a green screen backdrop just to kind of play around. So so there's the gray. It kind of cuts out all the clutter that's behind me. Maybe the clutter's good, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Would you rather see a gray backdrop or a cluttered backdrop with my drill press and welding cart and lathe and whatnot? And my refrigerator with my, I guess I do have my wall stickers on the fridge. So I don't know. I guess what you could do with the wall stickers too is if you could do a digital backdrop and with a green screen and just have that. So here's the green screen. And I've never played around with green screen, but what green screen allows you to do is it allows you to kind of throw in an active or passive background. So I can basically what you do is you crop out the green background from this, as long as you're not wearing like a green shirt or something. But it allows the software to crop out the background, and then you can overlay this footage, the foreground footage, over some kind of background. It could be video, it could be a picture. And I'll go ahead and throw up a video or a photo behind me as I close out this video, because that's about all I've got left to talk about. But it's kind of cool. It doesn't cost, it wasn't a lot to kind of get that, and I think it gives an additional dimension of effect. And then the widescreen I got, it's closer to the bench, but I can pull it down, kind of fold it out onto the bench top. it gives me a nice background for photography, and I'll show some footage of some photos that I took of the RC10cc with that background. Alright, so I got some ceiling mount arms for my lights. So now I have studio lighting for what's slowly becoming a studio. So there's kind of the setup in my garage. So this area is where my garage door has to open, so I have to make sure these arms can swing up to clear the garage door. There's the couch from the Playhouse. Alright. And that's what we get out of that setup. Well, it looks almost professional. Like you're in a real studio. And that's kind of what I was going for. I also installed some overhead studio lights to give better kind of focus lighting, or diffused focus lighting on the subject being shot. And those are on these arms that kind of fold up and down. So, because I do have a garage door that rolls up over my head, so I have to make sure I don't prevent that garage door from being able to roll up. And so those lights, when they hang down, they obviously block the garage door, but they're on a boom arm that can fold up towards the ceiling, so they get out of the way. And those seem to work out pretty nice. I just installed them before this video, and I played around with some photos of the RC10cc, and the photos came out nice. I've got the arms retracted and folded up against the ceiling. So yeah, small progress, right? Small changes, small improvements here and there. I do have occasional audio issues with my mic. Actually, this is my second time filming this video because my microphone was plugged into a charger and it was picking up a lot of noise from that charger, so I have to be careful that I don't plug in my devices into the chargers when I'm using them, because they do tend to pick up a lot of noise. But I might be looking at alternatives for audio, maybe doing like a I don't know what they call them, like a lapel mic, but I need to play around with that. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in and hanging around to the end. I do appreciate it. I hope to be making more content here. I'm kind of gone through my month-long break, and I should get back into the swing of things. Probably the next video that I'll do is an unboxing of this kit. It won't be the first unboxing, but I think what will be unique is I will take this kit and compare it to an original 870 kit, which I also have in my collection, so I can kind of compare and contrast the two kits, whereas this is a modern version of the original kit. So that will probably be my next video. I do have footage for the body for the RC10 I just, that's hours and hours and hours of footage that I have to cut through, and that takes a lot of time, so I just haven't kind of swallowed that pill of sitting in front of the computer for 12 hours to trim that footage down. So yeah, thanks for tuning in again. I do appreciate your time. Take care. Bye.